Okay, Dad.
Okay.
We're live.
Hey.
Good morning, folks. Hopefully you can hear us okay. We are here together today. Welcome to Shamanic Sundays. Good to see you all. Good to be sitting here next to you, Dad.
Hey, good to be sitting next to you. Hey.
So we are on our way to the desert near Joshua Tree, where we will be going out for a vision quest. And because we only have one computer on this journey right now, we're sitting here together, so that's kind of fun. But I'll definitely be you'll see me leaning in to check things on the computer, and we may be doing things a little bit differently today. But let's just first start with a morning prayer, because in the spirit of shamanic traditions and wisdom, let's see, I'm just checking here to make sure that this is working. Just a second.
Working the
Okay.
techno mojo.
Yep, working the techno mojo. Do you want to lead us in a prayer? Can you hold that a couple inches from your face while I just check on our technology here?
Okay, so I'll wait until you check
Yep,
on.
you can start the prayer.
All right.
Yep.
Well, here I am holding a little buddy from another dimension that I'm speaking into, and through this little buddy here, going out into the ethers, gratitude. Thank you, Great Spirit, Great Mystery, Holy Spirit, for the breath of life flowing into us right now, the sacred breath of life. Thank you for the wonders of this creation that you give us, the gift of life to live in, to open with humility and gratitude about the lessons about how to live in harmony and balance with this creation that you give us and with each other. And thank you for each other, all of us, all of you listening here now live and who will be listening. And thank you for our families, our communities, our ancestors, and ancestor spirits of the land we live on. We remember you all. We make a home for you here. And thank you for this day, the gift of this day, and the opportunity to join our hearts and minds and spirits to connect consciously and attune and commune with the underlying oneness of infinite, unconditional, cosmic love flowing into us with each breath, helping us to polish up our stardust so we can show up more clearly, more strongly, with more gratitude, to be channels for the healing light and love that flows into us from you, Great Spirit, out into the world for the healing of the sacred hoop. May it be so. Ho.
Thank you, Poppy.
Hey.
And thank you, all of you, for being here. Good to see you. So, getting ready to go out on quest. This is your 50th year going out on quest, leading quest, which is quite amazing.
Slow learner.
You have to keep going back for more. This is I think, if I'm counting correctly, my 20th year going out. Started when I was quite a little kid, and then in our backyard out in San Jerome Valley. That was my very first one. And I remember being scared shitless, pardon my French, every single one of the quests. And the same is true for this one, especially in the days and weeks leading up to it. And we were talking this morning about anxiousness and fears and going through portals of energy to get into your next chapter. So that seemed like a really apt thing to discuss this morning, because whether it's small fears of, going into a meeting that you have to deal with, or having a intense conversation with someone you work with or live with, or a family member, someone you love, whatever the situation may be, or going into deeper into nature to connect deeper with the land, we all face fears of different kinds, or the big fear of death and suffering, physical pain. So if you could talk to us a little bit about, share your own process of getting ready for quest. And I'll speak for my mom and sister here for a second too. We definitely see you going through portals as you get ready for ceremonies. And love for you to share some of your experience with that, and words that could help us as we prepare for whatever fears and portals we're needing to face this coming week.
Okay.
So, sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are you going to be able to hold this for a second while you talk, and then I can hold it for you as you sink in? But I just want to check our YouTube connection.
Yeah, no, I think I can hold this. Yeah.
Friends over there are getting in. Okay.
So, okay to go?
Go.
All right. So, I notice in my own process of getting ready for Vision Quest or Medicine Retreat that it always brings up my fears and anxieties about it. My ego mind cooks up very creatively all kinds of fears and anxieties of the worst possible things that could happen. And I have to face that. I have to, part of my process is opening to those shadow energies and giving myself permission to see and feel and experience it all. And so that the reason for doing that is because it brings me to the point of, okay, so given those fears and anxieties and the truth that my worst fears could happen, hopefully they don't. My prayers are for safety and protection for everyone, fullest blossom and greatest good to come through for everybody. But outcomes aren't in my hands. That's in the mystery's hands, so I don't know. So in that uncertainty, and with anxiety and fear, I have to face all of that and the feelings that come with it and all the energy effects of that in me. And it brings me to, by facing it, accepting it as a possibility, it brings me to looking at, okay, so given that possibility, what, if anything, do you have faith and trust in? That you attune to it, you connect to it more consciously, can help you go forward to face those fears and anxieties and not let them shut you down from doing what I need to do. Give myself permission to have them, but don't give them power to run the show, because it gives me every single time, where do I stand in my relationship to spirit? Not going on last month's or last year's or thoughts, but in the truth of my being alive in this moment, what do I truly have faith and trust in? So asking myself that question by facing my shadow fears and anxieties brings me into that deeper place of, well, what is the truth? Do I believe in such a thing as the Great Spirit or not? Am I just fooling myself? Or so it gives me an opportunity to explore my faith, my living faith in the moment, and see where it's at, take its temperature, so to speak, and that always brings me to the daily reinforcement I get from Mother Nature and the expressions of Mother Nature, the rising of the sun, Father Sun coming up every morning in the east and bringing that power of illumination to cut through darkness, reminding me of the power of light to cut through darkness. Oh yeah, right. And to go outside and charge my batteries up with that life-giving stardust, polishing my stardust to charge my batteries and give me strength and energy for the day, and faith and trust in the greater wisdom powers, cosmic powers of the universe that have been working for billions of years and are working right now. And then I walk around and to the directions, give thanks to the directions, and I see the different plants, and every day how they're a little bit different, and the little buds and the blossoms and the flowers, and in the spring equinox coming up here in 2 days, rebirth of new life. It just fills my heart with joy and fills my mind and my consciousness, my being, with amazement at the manifestation of the creative wisdom power of the universe, just bringing forth new life and fantastic colors and shapes and forms and expressions. And it just every single year, spring comes, it blows my mind. So this doing that, my Thanksgiving prayers, connecting through those prayers with the powers of the medicine wheel and above, below, and the central force of no thing. Everything comes from no thing, from the infinite mystery of spirit. Strengthens my faith and trust. Yeah, the universe is working. It's all working. Mother Earth working beautifully when we don't fuck it up. And part of the consequences of the ways we've lived in the Western world and like cancer spread around the world is living not in harmony and respectful humility relationship with the way Mother Earth works, but instead exploiting, taking, raping, just like in a cannibal way. Just as long as I get mine, it doesn't matter what happens to anybody else. And so all of those challenges that we're facing now, and the violence in the world, and the injustice, and the prejudice, and the racism, it can be so overwhelming and so hurtful, and doesn't need to be. So how to strengthen my faith and trust in spirit and the power of the North, remembering that spirit's present in everyone and everything and everywhere and all the time, reminding myself by when I go to the North and connecting with that wisdom. That's true wisdom. So within that wisdom is the understanding that in spirit's presence in everyone and everything, and it's always seeking to work for bring through fullest blossoming greatest good, no matter what the challenge is. And the reason we're alive and living in this time of challenging, so many challenges in the world and in our lives personally and in the whole planetary field, is that we're all here with purpose to show up, polish up our stardust, and connect with the gifts that spirit gives us, the medicine gifts that spirit has placed inside of us, that it's on us to develop and nurture to fullest blossoming and greatest good. But in so doing, that's how spirit wants to use us to help heal the root causes of the wounds of the world that lead to the violence and prejudice and injustice, to help us show up to do our part, starting with inside of ourselves, to wake up, remember the truth of who we are, wake up, wise up, to remember, connect, and understand Allaha, sacred unity that we live in, and the connection of our deepest being to infinite, unconditional field of cosmic love, unconditional, infinite cosmic love. And we're here in this life and our challenges to use what's triggered in us by the challenges to do the work that we need to do to open the doorway to bring through fullest blossoming, greatest good, creating a peaceful and just and healthy and harmonious and happy, beautifully diverse, win-win world for all that we're capable of creating. So I have faith and trust in facing my fears and anxieties that it is possible to create that kind of a world, and brings up the song I like to sing so much, that goes like this. Starts with Yahweh, which is the word of thank you for the Pomo Miwok people. Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh for you and me. Yahweh, Yahweh, may we all be free. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings ever be free. Be free. It starts right at home with you and me. It always starts right at home with you and me, Yahweh. So when I sing that song, prayer song, may all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings everywhere be free. And if I want that, where does it have to start? If I'm being real with myself, it has to start inside of me. I have to heal the Netanyahu, Putin mind in me. I have to come to terms with those forces and energies inside of me that lead to violence against innocent people. It starts at home with me, deep inside, connecting with spirit, with faith and trust, with knowing and attuning and connecting with the underlying oneness that we all live in. So I can truly be as best as I can with my humanness, not about perfection, but trying the best I can to be a channel for Spirit's healing light and love into the people, into the frightened part of myself, the insecure parts of myself, the whatever parts of me might feel threatened. Hold those aspects of me in tenderness and compassion, without any judgment, but with love and kindness and caring. And you're okay. You're okay. You're going to be okay. You're loved. I love you. And just singing that love, filling myself up with it, and then opening the doorway for me to start sending that out to the people at the retreat, the people on the Vision Quest, to you, people that Live Love Now, to Walk On people, to all the groups and people I'm involved with, and to the whole human family, with those prayers that for all of us to be able to wake up and wise up and live love now and open the doorway, using what's triggered in us by the challenges to make that deeper connection so we can get empowered to show up and fulfill our purpose here, creating the kind of world we're capable of creating. So that's how I prepare for all the medicine work I do, Vision Quest, medicine circles, that the start is I have to face my fears and anxieties and recognize that's part of a larger process. I can't just go to the light, so to speak. I have to start with the darkness, grounding in the darkness, and address it all and come to terms with it, create relationship with it all that reconnects me consciously and my awareness with Spirit's presence. And then I feel the faith and trust coming through me to surrender every outcomes in the Spirit's hands, and just show up and do the best part I can as a little link in a chain to contributing to the healing of the sacred hoop. So I thank everybody for listening to us here live and whenever you listen to us. And thank you for your lives and the blessings of your lives. And remember, your life is a blessing. And thank you for showing up to be the beauty of who you are and sending prayers for you. And we will be sending more from the Vision Quest to empower your life and polishing up your stardust and walking your heart path to completion. Thank you. Hope.
Thank you. Got that okay?
Got that.
Okay. You sound like you're wrapping up, and I'm not going to let you off that easy.
No, I'm not wrapping up. I'm just finishing that line.
Okay.
That wave came through and it's gone. And now what's the next one?
Okay, good. So a couple things that came to mind as I was listening to you, is one, I just wanted to give a shout out to D and D, our sweet hosts here that are letting us stay at their home right now and be in this beautiful setting as we juice up and prepare to go out into the desert more deeply. So thank you to D and D. And also want to invite each of you who's listening live to go ahead and put into the chat any prayer that you want us to take into our vision quests on your behalf. Generally speaking, we'll be praying for all of you and sending so much gratitude for you and the work you do and sharing in not just our human family, but all beings family. We're honored to be sharing this journey with you. So thank you. But if you have anything special you want to share, feel free to put it in the chat. So those were two things that came to mind. And then you talked about in order to be ready, you have to start in the darkness and ground in the darkness. And I'll just speak for myself. Oftentimes, going into the darkness is not a pleasant, fun, easy place to be. And on quest, I just, like, as much as I love looking up at the stars and the moon, and I'm so grateful we'll have some moon this year going out, some light coming through. But as that sun sets, and no matter how beautiful it is, and I'm giving thanks for the day, I'm also keenly aware of the darkness coming in, the night, and preparing to be out on the land by myself during solo time. And that darkness takes on a whole new meaning when you're out by yourself. And yet it's the same, whatever the darkness that you're facing in any given situation, it's that same feeling of, oh, I don't want to go there. But knowing that it's all part of the cycle and the circle, and we need the darkness in order to also feel and appreciate the light and just move in cycles. Just if you could share a little bit more about like that grounding in darkness that you shared, and tools for us to specifically. I'm remembering that last week we asked you to think of something that you might want to dream into this week, and as spring comes and you have this new chapter in the cycles of nature coming up. So a couple more tools, maybe a visualization about grounding in the darkness as we dream into what we are called to dream into for this spring. Sound good? I don't know why I leaned away. Okay, here we go. Thank you.
Grounding in the darkness. I remember when we moved to Forest Knolls when you were, I don't know, 2 years old or something like that, out in the country. And up to that point, I guess I was 24 then. I realized I was still frightened of the night. I was frightened of the night. And I realized I need to befriend my relationship with the night and the darkness. And where we lived in rural uh, St. Geronimo Valley at the time, there was mountain lions and bobcats that went through there and rattlesnakes. And so I realized I need to learn how to get comfortable being in the darkness at night, going out there in the yard, in the wildness of our yard, so to speak. Uh, and as with all darkness, however it comes, from our shadow, our fears and our anxieties, and through our dreaming. One of the things that happens to me in the darkness of the night on Vision Quest is always one night where 50 years, 49 years, I have some horrible nightmare comes to me. Um, uh, an eruption of shadow energies into the dreaming, and it helps me look at aspects of myself that are ugly and hurtful, and I wish weren't there, but are a part of my animal being, and so I have to. I can be revulsed by some of what I see the character of me in a dream doing. It's so terrible and despicable, and I have to face the truth, just like in going out into the dark at night, into the wilderness. Have to face the truth of, in the dream sense, those forces are part of me. They're not who I am. Don't identify myself as them, but I have to take ownership of those forces that are inside of me, um, that have the potential to come out and erupt in hurtful behavior to others. If I don't face the truth of their existence and learn how to befriend them, so they don't run me. They don't erupt and hurt other people. And I can only do that by facing the truth of, those, I do have the potentials inside of me as a human being to behave in those ways. And by facing that and accepting that truth and remembering it's not who I am, so no judgments about myself, about those forces inside of that aspect of my animal being, it opens up the doorway for me to reconnect with remembering who I really am. And in the going out at night into the wilderness alone for solitude and the forces that come up of fear of animals, rattlesnakes, scorpions, whatever, coming, the boogeyman in whatever form, again, it brings me to, it's possible those worst fears will happen. So I have to face that. But it's not happening now. Number one, it's not happening now. So I produce pain and suffering for myself in this moment of being alive, which is the only moment I have to experience whatever I want to experience. So accept the possibility of your worst fears happening and then let it go. Just release it and come back into, well, what is it I would like to have happen? Like to have a fruitful and good medicine experience to open and learn and grow what's for my greatest good. And if I'm experiencing the fear and anxiety, it's given me opportunity to go into the roots of my deepest fear, physical death, of dying, which at some point is going to happen no matter what I do. So I need to befriend my mortality. I need to create a relationship with the fact of my mortality, and that at any given second, um, the life force could just be pulled out of me, and I could just flop over here talking to you right now, and that's, my spirit leaves my body, and I've completed what I needed to complete in this life. So the uncertainty of not knowing when our life walk in this incarnation is over, the flip side of that is knowing I'm alive now. I have right now, and every breath that's coming into me has given me opportunity to make a choice about what I want to put my attention into. Do I want to put my attention into feeding the fears and believing that's the only thing that can happen, and it is going to happen, and create a state of panic and crisis and intense suffering inside of myself? Or do I want to, having accepted that's a possibility, but it's not happening now, and what I seek and what I pray for and what I hope for is protection, fullest blossoming, greatest good, or the medicine coming through that serves I and whoever I'm praying for is greatest good fullest blossoming, greatest good of their lives. So in that is a surrender. I'm exercising my muscles of faith and trust to surrender into higher power, greater power, into spirit, into mystery, and to show up and do my part, to play my part consciously and skillfully in opening and keeping the door open in my awareness to connection, conscious connection, and attunement, and communing with the creative wisdom power of the universe, the peace that's flowing into me, the peace that lives at the center of my being. It never left me, but by putting my energy into feeding the thought, the fears and anxieties, the negative thinking, creates not just suffering for myself, but shuts off my awareness connection to Spirit's presence and to the deep inner peace that's at the center of my being always. So like Buddha said, if you're experiencing suffering, look at what the role your mind is playing, what you're putting your attention into, believing is fact, and the stories you're telling yourself that creates that suffering. And when you see and accept it, that you're the one playing the role, I'm the one playing the role in creating my suffering, then I can pull the plug on it. Then I'm empowered to pull the plug on it and open my awareness to attunement and communion with infinite light, with infinite love, with infinite peace, with infinite creativity, and to open myself up to the wonders of the night. And to remember, everything that we see comes out of the darkness. Everything that we see comes out of the fertile dark void, the no-thingness of the dark void, the fertility. It's like in a mother's womb, the darkness in the womb that the new life grows in and comes out of. Everything, the darkness of the Mother Earth's womb, that the plants blossoming and their buds and flowers coming forth comes out of the darkness, the fertile darkness, and to befriend it. It's, open, release, let go, relax. And that brings my awareness. It just seems like it happens when I do that work. It opens the doorway in my awareness to all that I have to be thankful for in this moment. Be it in the tent at night, fasting, and strange noises outside. Don't know what that is, whatever it might trigger. Opening, dropping deeper, deeper, deeper downside. Underneath, the metaphor of the waves on the surface of the ocean when the wind and storm is blowing, and you're just dropping down. You have air, and you're breathing air with the aqua lungs, and so you don't have to worry about that. And you're just dropping peacefully down below the waves until you get to that place underneath it all, where there's just absolutely peace, infinite peace. And I just let that flow through my body. Any places where my body had tensed up when focusing on fear, and anxiety, or it was clenching and tightening, just let that flow of peaceful energy coming in with the breath, kind of massaging warm down into those places where there's contraction, so it can release and let go. And the energy of that tension release with the breath flowing out downstream and carried away, opening up a little more room in my energy field for this next breath, bringing in more inner peace, breathing in more courage, breathing in more light, breathing in more love, breathing in more gratitude for the gifts of my life. And in that process, deepening, wait till this plane goes by. That plane going by itself a reminder that Kimberly and I could sit here and not worry that bombs are going to be dropped on us. And not everybody in the world can sit under the noise of that plane coming and not be fearful that a bomb's going to be dropped on them, because it is. So it brings me into that awareness that everybody doesn't have the privilege that I have to be able to sit safely in this beautiful setting and peaceful setting. Not everybody in the world has that. And so that opens my heart through the pain of knowing that people are suffering, innocent people, grandmothers, grandfathers, children, mothers, fathers, brothers are suffering. So I need to be sending healing light and love out to everyone for the healing of the sacred hoop. Prayers for opening our hearts and minds and recognizing how we're all connected, how we're all one family, one human family, how we're one family of life on Mother Earth. And prayers for opening our minds to recognize and understand and live from the oneness that we're all connected in, and to live with love and to create the kind of world we're living in, and sending that energy out into the field in those troubling situations for those people suffering, sending healing light and love and support to them to help them through whatever it is they're going through, and open the doorway for my receiving guidance about what more can I do to help through action to address the wounds of the world and the causes of the wounds. What can I do with my life to address that, to help us move toward a critical mass of us two-leggeds, waking up to our oneness and working cooperatively together. It's like I was thinking about we have millions, if not billions, of cells in our stomach, working to digest foods. All these cells working cooperatively in symbiosis, working cooperatively to produce something that they can't do separately, to open a doorway to bring through fuller blossoming, greatest possibility of what they could do separately. They've learned how to do that millions and billions of years ago, how those individual cells can work cooperatively together. A challenge for us in humanity, facing our fears, opening deeper to what we have faith and trust in, and connecting to it and asking for its wisdom guidance. Opening the doorway to us human beings instead of competing with each other for perceived scarce goods, working cooperatively together like the cells in our abdomen, in our stomach, work cooperatively in our whole bodies to produce our lives. If they weren't working cooperatively together, we wouldn't have our lives. The challenge for us as people in this trying times of rite of passage, what we're living through, is to wake up our consciousness to recognize we, the collective humanity around the world, can work together respectfully with humility to support to open the doorway to possibility to manifest the kind of world we're capable of creating. And that's a challenging test we're all faced with now. And it starts with facing our fears, our greatest fears, and exploring what we have faith and trust in. And then the practices, doing the practices that work for you to attune with that greater presence, the creative, activating wisdom, power, infinite love, creativity flowing into us with each breath, and to move from it's all about me to recognizing it's about we, and it's about thee, the source from which all comes from, the great spirit, and humbly respecting well to the wisdom guidance about how to create the kind of world, peaceful and just, beautiful, that we're capable of creating. But it starts with facing the challenges of our fears and anxieties. So may we all grow stronger with faith and trust, strengthening our faith and trust muscles in exploring and connecting with what we have faith and trust in. And if you think to yourself, if the thought comes up from a scared and wounded place, well, I don't have faith and trust in anything. I'll just share one fact to kind of seed the growth of greater faith and trust in you. And this great spirit knows what she's doing. Tomorrow, you can put money in the bank. Father Son is going to come up in the east and bring new life to Mother Earth. Hope.
Oh, thank you, and thank you for those of you who've shared your prayers in the chat. I love seeing that. When you were talking about all the cells and organisms in your belly, it made me think of a article I read recently by a indigenous Native American indigenous woman. I don't remember what tribe she's from, pardon me, but her name is Amelia Winger Bearskin, and I just pulled it up because I think it's really cool and I want to share it, and it just is so perfect for what you were just saying. And well, it won't take that long. In 2020, I was on a call with a scientist helping a giant multimedia corporation tell stories about colonizing Mars. The host of the Zoom call wanted to convince the man that colonizing wasn't cool anymore. Maybe I was invited for a fresh take. The scientist was already on the defensive when I showed up in the Zoom window. He didn't see anything wrong with the term colonizer. Why can't we colonize? And seemed to feel a bit attacked. Realizing I'd entered the chat at an incredibly awkward turtle moment, as my son would say, I said flatly, "It doesn't sound very cool to go to your Mars colony, anyways. Why would anyone want to go if they can't take their dogs?" It's a question I'd asked too. He blinked a few times on the Zoom camera and said, "No, no, you don't understand. We need animals, plants, spores, our pets. Our microbiome would die within 2 years if we didn't have the bacteria, which has a life cycle right there in your dog next to you." I looked at my dog next to me. He looked back at me. I gave him a treat. He's a good one. I admit the scientist's response caught me by surprise. The reasoning is flawless. We absolutely will die without other species, and it's the microbiomes they bring with them, and the microbiomes they bring with them. But it's not so much that we will die without them. We are them. And she goes on in the article. It's the article is called Scent Trail, and again, it's by Amelia Winger Bearskin. So I just thought that was kind of a cool tie-in and reminder. And I love the work that she's doing, bringing Indigenous wisdom into computer engineering and coding. So shout out to Miss Swinger Bearskin. And also shout out to my mama. I got a little teared up while you were talking and just the different gratitudes and for her. She's not the public one that likes to be sitting here. I don't know if that's the right perception, but that, she's more well, she's not sitting here on Shamanic Sundays with me, but she's so much a part of everything we do, and Nicole and Justin and the boys, and just all of our direct and extended family members who make all of this possible. So thank you. And so we are going to wrap it up here. I think you've shared some good stuff for folks to take for the week ahead. We'll be praying for you, and I see all of your notes and prayers in the chat. Because of the way we're set up today for tech reasons, I'm not able to look at them directly, but I know we will afterwards, and we'll write them down in our journal and take you with us in our hearts and minds, and be sending you good energy and good, great spirit willing. We'll be back next Sunday after Quest for Shamanic Sundays.
May it be so.
May it be so. All right. Take care, everyone. Thanks again for being here.
Let's see what the sequence said.